Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. So in today's video I'm going to be showing you how I achieve this beautiful bronzy look on my beautiful model Vinta. I know you guys have been asking me to do a more melanin toned skin tutorial, and in this video that's what we're going to get into. So without further ado, let us get into this tutorial. To start off, I'm using the Garnier Skin Active Micellar water to clean her face and to remove any makeup or any dirt before we start off the look. And I'm using this hand fan that I got from Shop with Talia just to dry it down. And I did go in later on with my damp beauty blender to just push in the rose water and to make sure that everything is well absorbed before going into the next step. So the next step, we're going into the brows. I did use a dense eyeshadow brush and some Sacha Buttercup setting powder just to mattify her brows before going in with brow product. Initially I had wanted to use a pencil, but because she is more melanated, I decided to go in with a brow pomade from Heggai and Esther. But before then I did go in with the Luxurian Beauty soap brows just to give her that feathered broad look and to make sure that everything sat in place. I am also using a disposable spoolie just to make sure that everything is well distributed, and I did go in a couple of times with it and then afterward with my finger just to make sure that the product is well spread out throughout the brows and I don't have any excess. Next up, I'm using the Heggai and Esther brow pomade to fill in her brows. I am using the other end of my spoolie with the angled brush just to distribute the product in an upward way, in the same way that I combed her brows upwards with the soap brows. And then I did go in later on with the LA Girl concealer in the shade Chestnut to clean up her brows with a flat-ended brush, and these brushes I got them from Nedge World on Instagram. When you're cleaning up brows, you have to make sure you really do it step by step just so you can get the cleanest effect, and you can decide to go in with the side of the brush or the tip of the brush depending on which one is easier for you. If you would like a detailed eyebrow tutorial, I have 2 videos on my channel, so you can check them out to see the beginning and end of how to do eyebrows really easily, and a step-by-step tutorial on how to be able to achieve that perfect brow. I did go in again with my damp beauty blender and I just blended out the concealer. I did end up using the Chestnut concealer as her eyeshadow base as well, just because we're going in with a more of a nudish look. We're not really going in with too much color. And I did go in with a V Beauty powder palette. This one is from Shop with Talia again, same with the fan, and I'm using the color that is close to the chestnut just to set underneath her eyebrows and just to make sure that that area doesn't look so shiny. And then I still went ahead with a darker shade of the palette to add onto her crease area and for her transition at the outer edge of her eye, and just to use those as our matte colors before going in with the shimmer shadow. When you're using matte eyeshadows, I do recommend packing in or patting in the product if you want to increase the intensity. And when you want to blend out, I recommend going back and forth or just dragging the product about just to make sure that you have an evenly diffused color and nothing looks too harsh. I did go in with the NK Cosmetics Fabulosity palette, and I'm using this really beautiful bronzy shimmer shade, and I am using the same brush that I used to clean up her eyebrows, because when you use a brush that is wet or that has a little bit of product like concealer, then the product does tend to stick on and actually show up more on the eye as opposed to just using a dry brush. So if you want a more intense look, then I recommend doing that. But if you want more of a natural look or a more diffuse look, then I recommend just going in with a dry brush as opposed to a wet brush or a brush with a little bit of concealer product or foundation product. I then went in with the black shade of the black eyeshadow of this palette. It's a really beautiful and intense color, and I used a tiny tip of my brush just to smoke out. I didn't really want to go in with a clean cat eye. I wanted a really nice and smoky eye look, so I went in with that right on top of her natural lashes, and just to be able to blend in the colors even before I put on the lashes. I'm just spreading this product right all over her lash line, and then I did go in with the LA Girl eye pencil to tightline and to make sure that there are no gaps before I put on her lashes. And for her lashes, I did end up going in with a bit of a natural set, just because the look that we were going for was very natural, and I didn't want the style of the lash to overpower. And because I have nails, I did end up using this pair of tweezers. I do recommend this if you find it a bit hard, but now the only problem is now when you want to sort of pinch your natural lashes and your falsies together, that's when it's a problem. But what I found is when you use the side of your fingers as opposed to the tip, then it ends up being easier to just pinch them and to be able to allow them to mesh together. But for application, if you have fake nails and you struggle with application of falsies, then I don't recommend going in with a pair of tweezers. I went in back again with the same black eyeshadow because I didn't want there to be any harshness on the application of the lashes. I wanted there to be like a nice smoky blend between the eyelashes and the eyeliner and our eyeshadow. So I went in again with that, and right above the eyelashes I just added that bit of black shadow just to blend everything in and to make sure everything looks nice and seamless. I did go in with the LA Girl primer spray. I did also moisturize her face off camera with the Nivea cream moisturizer. You guys have seen me use that on almost all my videos, and I have no idea what this one is. I don't know if it's a primer or I don't remember what I used over here, but I do think it's the Flori Roberts mattifying primer, if I'm not wrong, because we were going for a matte look but also with a sort of like a dewy finish, not like fully matte. So I like going in with my fingers to blend that out, whether it be moisturizer or primer. And then next up I'm going in with the LA Girl foundation mixed with the Maybelline foundation to just blend in her foundation. The LA Girl ended up being a bit darker, so I added the Maybelline just to blend in the color. And here's one tip that I can give you guys: when you're applying foundation on somebody or even on yourself and you see it's darker or lighter, then you don't have to rub everything off, because you can remember you still have all your skin prep. You have your serum, you have your sunscreen, you have your moisturizer, your primer, etc. So what you can do is just go in with the foundation shade that will be able to neutralize and bring back that color. So for example, if it's too dark, then go in with a foundation color that is a little bit lighter, just to be able to get your actual skin tone. If you have something that's a little bit lighter, then go in with a foundation that is slightly darker, that will give you your exact foundation shade. And with the same foundation, I am using it to clean her upper eyebrows. I usually like to do this just so there can be that blend, so that I don't use a different color on top of her eyebrows and then it doesn't blend with the foundation and then it ends up looking like a halo. So I usually like to clean up the top of her eyebrows with the same color of foundation. And as you can see, because I did the feathered broad, I'm not going in with such a clean hand. I just want it to look somehow natural but still defined, if you know what I mean. Next up is our concealer. I'm using the exact same shade. This is the LA Girl Pro Conceal in the shade Chestnut, and it's such a beautiful color. Whenever you're doing concealer on somebody, unless they are they really like a really bright under eye, or unless it's like your signature. I do recommend for natural looks to go in with just a shade or two lighter, just so she can look as natural as possible, because sometimes I tend to find that a lot of people do an extremely light under eye, and when you look at the overall look, then it doesn't look like it's well blended. Like over here it looks like you're a different color, your foundation is a different color, your contour is a different color. So yeah, just always, if you're going for a natural look, try and go in with 1 or 2 shades lighter for her concealer, just to brighten up her under eye, but not to do too much that she doesn't look natural. And as you can see, I'm holding my setting powder right after, because I want to set her under eye immediately after to avoid creasing. I am using the exact same beauty blender that I used for her foundation and her concealer, but what I do like to do is I use different parts of my beauty blender for different things. So for example, the bottom or the base of the beauty blender, I use it for foundation, and then the top side I use it for concealer, and it's also what I'm going to use to set. So I'm just pushing in this product. The setting powder that I'm using is also Sacha Buttercup in the shade, I think, Banana, if I'm not wrong, but it's not the overly yellow ones. It has sort of a translucent factor to it, so it doesn't really add any color. It just sets and mattifies without adding too much color. Next up, I'm going in with a fluffy brush. This one is from Bella, and I'm using the very same powder palette from V Beauty. This one again, I got it from Shop with Talia, and as you can see, I'm pushing in a little bit of that powder into her skin. So if you want a more sheer coverage, then you swipe, as you saw me doing with the foundation. If you want a more concealed look or a more full coverage look, then you push in. So I'm just going in with this, and as you guys can see, I'm using very light motion just because I still want her skin to look nice and dewy, so I don't want to overdo it with the powder. A lot of times if you want to go for dewy looks, then avoid using too much powder, because it does end up mattifying the whole face and you don't look as dewy as you would have. So even when you're setting those areas, make sure you're setting with a very light layer of powder and also with a very light hand. Don't push it in so much that it ends up over mattifying the face. So I'm just pushing this all over, and then I did go in with the darker shade in the same palette and just use it as a contour. And as you guys can see, I'm using the very same brush that I used, and I just wanted to show you guys that you don't need like 50 brushes to be able to achieve a beautiful makeup look. You can just use the brushes that you have and just see how you can be able to manipulate and get the maximum use out of them. And next up, I did go in with the Reina Beauty. This one is the Maridadi 2 palette, I believe, and I'm going in with this beautiful orangey shade. Here is a pro tip if you are a makeup artist or if you're looking to go into makeup. For blush, for more melanin colors, or for my beautiful darker girls, I recommend an orange blush as opposed to a pink blush. And if you have a client who is a bit lighter, then I recommend either a pinkish or a purplish blush, or even a peach colored blush, depending on how light they are. And again, I am using the very same brush from Bella to just lightly dust on that color, and then we're gonna set the whole face. We are almost done. I am using the LA Girl matte setting spray, but I did again go in afterwards with the LA Girl shimmer spray just to bring back that glow. Again, if you are looking to do glowy looks, then you have to know how to be able to balance. Even if you're using matte products, you have to be able to know how to balance between that and still being able to get a dewy look. And then for her lips, I did go in with the Joy Lips. This one is in the shade Freedom. It's a beautiful matte color and it's so chocolatey, as you guys can see, and I'm using a disposable lip wand to just apply it. And later on, I did go in again with Joy Lips, but in the shade, I don't remember the shade, but it's a clear gloss from them, and I just added that on top of the nude lip gloss and finished off the look with this beautiful lippy. Another tip that I can give you guys, when you're doing your client's makeup or even your own makeup, always make sure to open your mouth a little bit so you can make sure that you've gotten the lip product, whether it's a lipstick or a lip gloss, in the inner corners of your mouth. Because what tends to happen sometimes, we just do the lipstick without adding over there, and then when you laugh or when you smile, there's a gap that doesn't have any lip product and it looks really, really weird. So always make sure you open your mouth a little bit and then just make sure that the inner corners of your mouth have got enough product. similar to the rest of your lips. For highlights, we're going in with a Reina Beauty Queen palette. It's a really beautiful palette, and I wish I had held it nicely so you guys can see the colors. It comes in 6 colors, and I'm using one of the darkest shades to just bronze her up. Whenever you're also going in with glowy looks, and make sure that you don't forget about highlight, just highlighting those places that the sun naturally hits your face. Yes, I'm using this beautiful bronzy shade, and the theme of the bronze is just continuing all over. And again, I'm using a small fluffy brush to just apply it, and I don't want it to be so harsh, so I am, even on the nose, I am again using the same brush and just applying some of that highlight just to make sure that the light hits her face naturally nicely, and she looks nice and bronzy and glowy and dewy and all those ooey words.
And here's my next model. The name is J. Mr. Roger. But they were like, wow.
So this is the final look. I hope you guys really enjoyed and learned a thing or two from this tutorial. Let me know in the comment section what other looks you'd like me to do, and which other models you'd like to see, which other skin tones of models. I am going to be doing a lot more melanin skin tones in the near future, so definitely look out for that. And I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel if you enjoy content like this. And until next time, bye guys.